Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson I will teach you how to solve differential equations. Of course, there is a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. To solve these kind of differential equations, so first step is we need to separate y with dy. So in this case here, first step is, let me just times dx on both sides first. So if I times dx here, and this is times dx. So that cancel out. So this means that dy is 3y dx. So now what I do, I just divide by y on both sides. So if I divide this by y, I divide this by y. So there you go. So this means that dy over y is equal to 3 dx. So there you go. So remember, dy over y is exactly the same as 1 over y times dy. So this is exactly the same as 1 over y times dy. And this one here is 3 dx. So now what I do, I integrate both sides. So that means if I integrate this left hand side, of course, I need to do the same thing on the right hand side. So don't forget, so if we integrate f dash x over f of x dx, so that will give me ln of f of x. And we add a c, of course. So we know that we differentiate, y will give me 1. So therefore, the numerator is the differentiations of the denominator. So that means ln of y. And of course, we absolute value. And now we need to integrate on the right hand side. So integrate 3 dx. That means integrate 3 respect to x. So give me 3x. So there you go. So now since we finished with the integrations, of course, we need to add a constant. So that is c. And don't forget, we need to make y as a subject. So what we do, we unlock it. Okay, so don't forget ln of a is exactly the same as log e a. Okay, keep that in mind. So then this is exactly the same as this. Let me just write this out. E y 3x add a c. So to unlock it, so we move this up there. So that means y is e to the 3x at c. So there you go. And remember, a power of m plus n is equal to a m times a power of n. So in another word, e to the 3x at c is exactly the same as e to the 3x with times e to the c. And we know that e to the power of c, c is a constant, so e power of c is a constant. So we can make e to the c is a, is a constant. So that is exactly the same as this. And whereas a is e to the c. So that means y is equal to a times e to the power of 3x. So there you go. Part B. So don't forget step number 1, we need to separate dy with y first. So in order to do this, we times the x on both sides. So this means that dy is y squared dx. Now what I do, I divide by y squared on both sides. So that will becomes like this. I divide by y squared divided by y squared. So that cancel out. So that means dy over y squared is exactly the same as this. 1 over y squared dy is dx. So then 1 over y squared, I can bring that up, becomes y to the power of negative 2. So this is just like this, okay? So power of negative 2 dy is dx. So there you go. So what I do now is I just integrate both sides. So I integrate this and I integrate on the right hand side. So integrate of y power of negative 2 respect to y. So we just add 1 to power of negative 2. So become y to the power of negative 1. And don't forget, we need to divide by negative 1. And on the right hand side, integrate dx will give me x. So that is x. And since we finished with the integrations, we need to add a c. That is a constant. So now what I do, I just simplify this. So y power of negative 1, y power of negative 1 over 1. So I can bring the y down, become positive. So this is become like this. Negative 1 over y is equal to x plus c. Now I just times negative on both sides. So that becomes like this. 1 over y is negative. I just put brackets, okay? X plus c. So now what I do, I just flip on the left hand side and I can flip the right hand side as well. So this is just like over 1, okay? So that means you flip the left hand side, so it become y. So I flip the right hand side, it become negative 1 over x plus c. So there you go. Part C. So of course we need to separate dy with y first. So to do this, I can just quickly do cross multiply. So that is 5y dy is 2 dx. Or you can just times by y, so become y dy equal 2 over 5 dx. Okay, still works. Okay, keep that in mind. So now I integrate both sides. So I integrate this and I integrate this. So integrate 5y dy, which is 5y squared over 2. Okay, so that is 5y squared divided by 2. So that will give me, integrate 2 respect to x, that give me 2x. 2x. Of course, we finished with integration. Don't forget, we need to add a constant c. There you go. Now we just need to solve for y. Now to solve for y, step number 1, we times 2 first. We need to get rid of fractions. So we times 2 this side. So this, we times 2. So that cancel out. So that become 5y squared will give me, so let me just remove the brackets, yes? So that give me 2 times 2 is 4. So 4x, we add 2c. Then we need to divide it by 5. So therefore y squared is 4x plus 2c over 5. So now I just take the square root on both sides. So that means y equal, so I just write this down first, 4x plus 2c over 5. And don't forget, every time we square root a number, we have a plus or a minus. So that will give me this. So there you go. Part D. So we need to separate the y with the dy first. So I times the x on both sides. So that will give me this. dy is 2e to the negative y dx. So now we just divide by e to the negative y divided by e to the negative y. So that we can cancel this. So then dy over e to the negative y, I can bring it up. So become e to the y. Okay, so negative indices, you bring it up, becomes positive. So that becomes e to the y dy is 2 dx. So there you go. So now I integrate both sides. So I integrate the left hand side and I do the same thing on the right hand side. So now integrate e to the y, and do not forget, if we integrate e to the f of x dx, so that will give me 1 over f dash x. E to the f of x. And we add a constant, of course. So therefore, we differentiate y. Okay, so we give me 1. So that means e power y divided by 1. So that is exactly the same as e to the y. So that will give me integrate 2 respect to x will give me 2x. So 2x. And of course, we finish with integrations. Don't forget, we always need to add a constant. So now we just need to solve for y. Now to solve for y, so I take log on both sides. So that is base e. So base e is ln. Okay, keep that in mind. So e to the y is ln of 2x plus c. Now ln of e to the power of y will give me y. So that is y is ln of 2x at c. There you go. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi there, I'm back. How do you go? So let me just go through them with you. Before I do that, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's get into it. So first of all, we need to separate y with dy first. Okay, so what I do, I just do cross multiply. So I just go like this. So that means y times dy will give me y dy. And then 4 times dx is 4 dx. So now what I do, I integrate both sides. So I integrate this side and I do the same thing on the right hand side. So we integrate y dy will give me y squared over 2. So y squared over 2. That will give me integrate 4 respect to x will give me 4x. So there you go. So we finished with integrations, and don't forget we need to add a constant, that is c. So now we solve for y. So we just times 2 on both sides. So times 2. So that means y squared will give me 2 times 4 is 8x. And we add 2c. Then we square root both sides. So because we need to solve for y. So now y will give me plus or minus 8x at 2c and square root of this. So there you go. Part B. So let me just times dx on both sides. dy is negative 2 y power 3 dx. Then I divide by y power 3 divided by y power 3. I divide this by y power 3. Because I need to separate dy with y. Okay, keep that in mind. dy over y power 3. So I can bring the y power 3 up. So give me negative indices. So that becomes like this. Y power negative 3 dy is equal to negative 2 dx. So now I integrate both sides. So integrate this and I integrate this. So now integrate y power negative 3 dy, which is add 1 to the negative 3 becomes minus 2. So that is y to the negative 2 divided by negative 2. And then integrate negative 2 dx, that is respect to x. So will give me negative 2x. So negative 2x. And then we need to add a c after we've done the integrations. There you go. Now we need to solve for y, which is times negative 2 on both sides first. So that will give me y power negative 2 equal, because we need to times negative 2. So negative 2x times negative 2 is positive. Okay, so 4x. And positive c times negative 2, so become minus 2c. So there you go. So what I do now is I solve for y. So y power negative 2 is exactly the same as 1 over y squared. So let me just move this up a bit. So that is exactly the same as this. Equal 4x minus 2c. Now to solve for y, so we know that this is exactly the same as 4x minus 2c over 1. Okay, so now I just flip on the left hand side and I flip on the right hand side as well. So 1 over y squared, we flip it, becomes y squared. So y squared equal, so we flip on the right hand side, become 1 over, so 1 over 4x minus 2c. So now we just square root both sides. So that will give me y is equal to plus or minus. So square root a over b, like the square root of a over b is exactly the same as square root of a over square root of b, if you like. So that means square root of 1 will give me 1 over square root of 4x minus 2c. So there you go. Let me just rewrite this. So that is 1. So there you go. Of course, you can rationalize it. So if you rationalize it, this is exactly the same as this. Okay, let me just show you. So that becomes plus or minus. So I times square root of 4x minus 2c. So that is the same as this. So 4x minus 2c. And then the denominator, because we time by itself, so the square root disappears. So that becomes like this. So there you go. Now part C. So the easiest way to do this is just do cross multiply. So this time like this, okay, and 1 time dx. So square root of y dy is equal to 1 times dx is dx. So square root of y dy is exactly the same as y power half dy. I just write in different form. That's all it is, okay? So now I just integrate both sides. So integrate this, integrate this. So integrate y power half dy. So we just add 1 to a half, give me 3 over 2. So that is y power of 3 over 2. And we divide by 3 over 2. So that means we flip it, becomes times 2 over 3. So that becomes 2 over 3. And that is integrate dx will give me x. And don't forget, we're done with integrations and we need to add a constant, of course. So to solve for y, I time by 3 first. So that will give me this 2 y power 3 over 2. So we times 3 on both sides, of course. So that gives me 3x. And we need to times 3 on a c. So that is 3c. Then now we just divide by 2. So let me move this up a bit. So y power 3 over 2 is 3x plus 3c over 2. Now we just solve for y. So just go like this. Power of 2 over 3. This is power of 2 over 3. So that 3 cancel with this, that 2 cancel with this. So now y is equal to, so y is 3x at 3c over 2 power of 2/3. So there you go. Last one. So which is times dx on both sides. So that will give me dy will give me e to the negative 2y dx. Because we need to separate the functions. So we just divide by e to the negative 2y on this side. We divide by e to the negative 2y. That cancel out. So that will give me, now dy over e to the negative 2y. I can bring it up, become positive. So this is exactly the same as e to the 2y dy. So that is dx. So now I integrate both sides. So that means I integrate this side and I integrate this side. So now don't forget, integrate e to the f of x dx is equal to, so 1 over f dash x. and then e to the f of x, and we add a c, don't forget. So now we differentiate 2y will give me 2. So that means we divide by 2. So that is e to the 2y divided by 2. That will give me, integrate dx will give me x. And do not forget, we need to add a constant c. So to solve for y, I times 2 on both sides first. So that is e to the 2y is equal to 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times c is 2c. Now to solve for y, I take log base e on both sides. So that means ln, okay? So ln of e to the 2y is ln. So it is absolute value of this, just in case it's negative. So like this. Then what I do now is remember, simplify this. That is just same as 2y. So that is 2y is ln of 2x, we add 2c. And we divide by 2. So y must equal to a half of ln 2x add 2c. So there you go. I hope you got all of them correct. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.